Hello and welcome to Love from the London Stadium. See what we did there? Bit of wordplay. We're back after our first attempt at a live pitchside show was scuppered by the second lockdown, but we're back today. We've got a hell of a show for you. I'm Chris Scull. Let's meet my co-host. Firstly, West Ham and England legend Carlton Cole is here.
Hello guys, how you doing?
And also West Ham and Ginger legend Jaackmaate is here.
Are we calling it Love from London's? No one told me that. Love to.
We've committed it to videotape now.
Okay.
It's too late.
Okay.
Are we committed?
We're committed. We're in. And also joining us, former England and West Ham #1 David James is here.
Afternoon.
And look, there's a lot to talk about. Maybe we should talk about the sock game we've got going on today. Jack, no socks. David, very leery yellow socks. Discuss.
I've got ankle socks on.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, they're hidden underneath. Yeah, maybe you'll see them later if you play your cards right. It is called Love from London Stadium, so you never know. Never know. Jamie, they're nice.
You do have a foot fetish though, don't you?
Who? Me? A foot fetish? No,
it's a long show, got plenty to get into. It is Love from London Stadium. Coming up on the show today, we'll be taking a look back at our narrow defeat to Manchester City. We'll be analysing our sensational form in 2021 and having a special look at our massive January loan signing, Jesse Lingard. But firstly, everyone at West Ham United was rocked by the sad news of the passing of our 9th permanent manager, Glenn Roeder. David, of course, played with him and was managed by him. We'll be talking to David in a second. But firstly, let's have a look back at some of the highlights from Glenn's time in charge.
Canute, and it's 2. One of them is Les Ferdinand. And look at the delight on Glenn Roeder's face. Sinclair! He's found the back of the net! Trevor Sinclair! And West Ham have a chance! Di Canio. It's a dangerous looking cross to the far post and Defoe's got up there! And the 3,000 travelling Cockneys have gone mad! And Glenn Roeder can be delighted with West Ham's thoroughly deserved win here.
Terrible, terrible news. Very sad. David, like, as I said, you played with him, you were managed by him. What are your memories of Glenn Roeder?
First of all, what a wonderful man. He was a teammate at Watford, going back a few years, and even as a teammate, I mean, he was a funny guy, always honest, possibly to a fault. So obviously, as a player at Watford, you know, we had I say good camaraderie. I was a young kid just coming through, but for him to call me to sign for West Ham, I mean, I think it was his first signing, and it was important in one sense. He made sure that he had the first signing correct. Obviously had the conversation with me. I was honoured to take that on, coming down from Aston Villa, and then got injured straight away. It was one of those things that, you know, I signed for the club and got injured before the season started. But Glenn was, I think, over everything else, he was just such a good human being.
Yeah.
And that's what people are going to miss him for many different reasons, but for his human qualities, yeah, I'll miss him for that, definitely.
Yeah, let's talk about those human qualities, because everyone is just so complimentary about what a great man he is. What were some of those qualities?
Just his honest. I mean, it's one of these, when you put it in juxtaposition with sort of current day managers, he didn't have any of the airs of the managers today. There's almost like this cloak and dagger existence in quite a lot of managers, and Glenn wasn't that. He was straight, and it's a quality. But unfortunately in football, and I'm sure a lot of West Ham fans listening will look at the year we went down and forget about the season before where we finished 7th. You know, Glenn had put together a really good squad, really good team who were doing some really good things, and because of the relegation year, it kind of undermined a lot of what he achieved. And when you're playing for a manager like Glenn, you know what he's telling you is the truth. When you've got the wrong change room, and I think at one point we had the wrong changing room, that truth gets exploited a bit. And but he never steered from that. And even when he left West Ham, I think he was working in youth team football towards the end of his sort of footballing side. I'd hear or see him and hear of what he was doing, and people were always talking about him in high regard. And I think the quality of the person is more than the substance of the performance in a lot of ways.
Carlton, you met him once, didn't you?
Yeah, I met him once. I was at Upton Park actually, and he just came across as a really lovely guy. And you always want to be that sort of person in football. You want to be a likeable character. But sometimes in football, if you're too likeable, you're too nice, people do take advantage of you. And I think, as Jaackmaate was saying there, people always remember the season when it was bad, and forget about the good stuff that he'd done before. And that's why you always see the players, they'll always have utmost respect for him because they know the real him. Away from the media, away from the football club even, as a person, I heard that he was such a lovely guy, and he didn't disappoint me when I met him.
Yeah, and Jack, when you first started supporting West Ham, Glenn Roeder was at the helm. I mean, there's so, as Jaackmaate said just then, it's easy to just remember Glenn Roeder for the relegation in 2003, but one of our highest ever Premier League finishes came the year before, 7th in 2002. Some great times.
Yeah, I don't really remember too much from that era, but just watching those clips back then, brings back some good memories. And as a kid, I've got more good memories watching West Ham than bad, and I'm sure Roeder was behind some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look.
Man United,
yeah.
What made the full header?
Was that one we just saw?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's
the score in that one?
1-0.
1-0, yeah, Jaackmaate Defoe.
I bleached my hair orange.
Yeah,
by accident. It was supposed to be blonde.
No one does this on purpose, mate.
Yeah.
No one does it on purpose.
Yeah, and you had the cornrows, and you went into the afro with these big blonde locks.
A few looks, yeah.
What an intimidating presence back then in 2002. But first, the record books will say that on Saturday lunchtime we lost 2-1 to Man City, but that doesn't tell the full story. And what better proof than these highlights from our lunchtime's work against Man City?
De Bruyne gets on the ball again. It's a teasing ball in, and it's a goal. And it's scored by Ruben Dias. Well, the centre-backs had stayed in there.
Show a replay.
Diop was getting stick in the commentary, and I think he did the right thing. You watch now, watch his arm. Watch his arm, he's looked over his shoulder. There's a signal, pick up behind, and then he has to go towards Stones, and then he gets picked out at the back. Do you know what I mean?
think that Soufal should have come across
Yeah.
and covered him from the back?
Ball from De Bruyne.
But the ball was just unreal. Yeah. But listen, you can talk about that, but I think the keeper should do more there. He should just come out and
when you've not been playing for a little while, and
that's a decision that you would probably make if
with a little bit more, I was going to say confidence, you'd maybe come out and smash someone.
Yeah, because the ball's in the air for ages, man. Do you know what I mean?
It was a nice. Listen, I'd love to have come for that, and any West Ham fan will know that every now and again I would have missed it. But that's the way it goes.
But this geezer's on flames, mate.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time, mate.
Manchester.
Lingard scuffed it.
When we scored this, I was like, can we win the league?
Is it actually possible?
I swear I brought the league table. I was like, how many points are we?
How far are we away from Man City? Because they don't look the part at the moment.
Oh my God! Look at this defending though. This is what I love about Moyes' team. Look at the players at the back. I know it's annoying conceded there, but the body's back. Just organisation. We haven't done that.
It's
so long.
Do you know what? I came to the corresponding fixture, the reverse fixture here, and West Ham defended for
This is hard.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
He defended for 90 minutes. If it hadn't been for Mikel's overhead kick, it was the only entry into the box.
Yeah.
Target completely. What an opportunity! Great camera angle there. Just pulls it wide.
Well, look, let's talk about the Man City game. Frustrating lunchtime's work, but we've got in the studio with us today one of Man City's most famous strikers. David James is here. David, your thoughts on the game?
Well, when I was up front, or the game on the way?
Striking perspective, obviously, is why you're here.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I mean, there's when the team sheet goes out, well, the lineup goes out. I looked at Man City's lineup and I thought, do you know what? West Ham got a chance here. Real good chance, because it wasn't the quality, because everyone talks about Man City's quality in the bench. It was the fact that they'd made so many changes, and there was going to be some sort of disconnect in the performance, and that was West Ham's opportunity. And obviously, when the equaliser goes in, you're thinking good. But the second half, you're thinking if he makes any changes, Pep being, makes any changes, then it will be difficult for City and it proved to be. But overall, I know it's a defeat. If you're going to lose to anyone, lose to the team at the top of the league.
Yeah.
Rather than teams in and around you. It's a good place at the moment.
Well, it's funny you say lose to the teams at the top of the league rather than in and around you. DJ, we're at the top of the league. I just think the Cole, like I was saying when we scored that equaliser, I was like, are we actually going to win the league? How did you take Saturday's game?
No, I felt the game plan was executed correctly. I know that we was going to sit in a mid block and try and get them to break us down. But when you looked at the whole scenario, when they did score that goal, I was really disappointed about their goal, to be honest. I felt it wasn't against the run of play, but I just felt that we deserved more, because we defended very well and astute by then. But then
it wasn't coming.
It wasn't. This is what I'm saying.
That's the thing.
It was an equal game.
It
was watching a good game of football.
What was City going to do?
And then, yes, they put that ball in. I just felt it was a bit soft, and I think the manager came out at the end and said it was not the ideal scenario to be getting a goal conceding like that. But for me, I still do believe that when we do go down, we can always come back, and that's what we showed. We showed that attacking poise where we didn't have before. When we just still go after a game, even if we're 1-0 down, we could still go and get another goal. I felt that was really pleasing as well. But then obviously, you've got Man City where they've got loads to bring on, different gears to change into, and we'd given our all. We was at our optimum, weren't we? Playing wise, we was defending really well, but there was a point in the game where we could have actually got back into it, but it was really hard because you know that Man City could just change the gears, and that was about the 75th minute. I felt we could have gone on to go and apply more pressure because it was getting a bit stale, the game. But look, it's a lot to talk about in the game. We could dissect it how much you want, but the boys done excellent, and I felt that we could have actually got something out of the game in the end with the Diop chance at the end.
Yeah, Jack, City probably best team in the country at the minute, but we gave them such a game, didn't we? Probably. Well, no, I'd say West Ham were up there.
I'm trying to work out what 20 wins in a row actually puts you in.
Best team in Europe. They are the best team in Europe. And I mean, how often in our lifetime watching West Ham, because I'll be honest, I'm not the most optimistic of West Ham fans at the best of the time, but how many times do you watch them and they lose by quite a few goals against City, and it's not often you lose 2-1 and it's like irritating, do you know what I mean? But it was irritating, Jack, and that's because we expect
imagine the days when we used to go up there and we used to get beat 6-0.
Yeah, you know, I was in that team. I remember.
So that was unbelievable. Yeah. So that is how far we've come.
Yeah. One thing I want to talk about, if we can get the clip up, Vladimir Coufal at full time, on his knees on the pitch, looking really emotional. Jack, tell me about this team.
I mean, he just sums up everything we love at West Ham. His reaction at the end was kind of like my reaction when I knew we couldn't do this show for a few months. I've been like that at home for ages. But I mean,
you really just got started.
You lose against the best team in Europe, arguably, at the moment, and he's crying for about 25 minutes on the pitch. That's the passion we want to see. What a beautiful man. What a beautiful man. I hope him and Souček enjoy all the potato salad they want for the next few months.
Give him more potato salad. David Carlton mentioned David Moyes' comments after the game. He said for the first goal, the defence was at fault and the keeper should be coming for it. Just quickly, what's your analysis on that first goal? Who was to blame?
I think blame's the wrong thing. I mean, I'm not saying that in a defensive position because I'm here, but I looked at it. I first thing I thought was, could the keeper come? Yes, because I would have.
Of course you would have.
Yeah, but that doesn't. It'll be a big.
Yeah, but listen, because the keeper comes doesn't mean that it's going to be dealt with properly.
You'll probably try and take it down in his chest.
Yeah, I mean the problem with the goal is, and I can understand David Moyes' frustration from a manager's point of view because he has no control over the situation. The frustration from a player's point of view is that you could have had control. There isn't a good goal. Because of the way the game was going, like Carlton was saying there, this wasn't City shot. I know they had the lion's share of possession, but you weren't seeing the goal happening. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Kevin De Bruyne, who I thought was average. You know, again, I listened to the commentary. It's like, get him more. I think that's a bad pass. Then he gets a good one. It's like, oh wow, he's
He swung his left foot at that though, didn't he? He wasn't really.
I would argue. Yeah, I would argue he meant it. But the thing was, he probably meant every pass in that first half, and half of them didn't come off. So it's kind of like he puts the ball in. It was a lovely ball.
Yeah.
You're looking at Diop, as I said, he was getting criticism from the commentary side, and I'm like, he's had to deal with stones in front of him. There was 2 against 1, and he was given a signal to be picked up on the far stick. He was doing what he had to do as defender, because if he'd stayed where he was, all of a sudden, or done something different, the same goal goes in, and he is actually more at fault. So to say someone's at blame, no. Randolph's situation, by the way, you're going on. Okay, thanks. All of a sudden it's like, hang on a minute, I've done this in training, but I haven't had to do it in a match. And even a question would stop him from running out and trying to deal with the ball.
So in training, would you come out for that like 10 times
I did
out
in
of
a
10?
match 101 times, and I dropped a few.
Yeah.
But Jamo, wouldn't you say
we know what the problem was, Jamo coming for the ball. It's like,
Jamo, wouldn't you say that area where De Bruyne put the ball in was like a proper grey area where the goalkeeper can come, or the defender could do better? So it's like who took the initiative and no one did?
I'll put it this way, Carl, right? You practice so many different things and so many different outcomes. And if you're not used to it, and I think in Darren's situation, he hasn't been playing week in, week out, that confidence, that question mark over scenario. Have you been practicing with someone knocking that ball in training? It's a weird thing. As a goalkeeper, you do crossing practice and you get this guy just knocking a ball in. And you come into a match and all of a sudden the guy's not trying to help you catch it. He's trying to make you make a bad decision. So there's no blame on Darren. I just question as a goalkeeper, could he? Of course. Would he have done it? Maybe.
Would he have done it if he was 5 games in? Do you know what I mean? Maybe it'd have been more...
I haven't studied Darren Randolph.
Okay.
No, genuinely, because some goalies never come for crosses.
Yeah.
Some always come for crosses.
Okay.
If it was Mondi or Mendy, he would have probably come for it. If it had been David De Gea, he probably would have shied away from it. So it's whether Darren does that. And on the defender side, whether they're used to their keeper coming out, because Fab comes out.
I think these are sitting on the fence. Darren, if you watch him, right, I can criticise, right, and I reckon he should have done that scorpion kick that keeper did. That guy. And I think the fact that he didn't, he needs to look inwards at himself and really try and reassess it.
He could bring more to the table.
Top tip, Darren, if you're watching. Before we move on, I just want to say Pep's post-match comments, Carlton. He was saying he said West Ham are one of the most aggressive and physical teams in the division now. And I was like, oh yeah. We are actually. When did that happen? It's true though, isn't it? We're a busy team.
I saw a comment as well with Pep talking about Moyes being like in the Zen mode. He wants to be like him, basically, where there's a calm point where he shows no emotion. Like whether you're winning or whether you're losing, he's just settled. And I think that's a massive compliment for any manager, because as soon as you get to that level where you believe in your system, you believe in what you're doing, there's nothing that can happen on the pitch that could actually affect your mood. And it looks like that Pep's realising what type of good manager David Moyes is, and that's only credit to David. And look, Pep knows his stuff about football, and he's just been very complimentary about West Ham, and he does rate what we're doing over here, so long may it continue.
I think there's parallels between Man City and West Ham, because if you think of Man City's situation earlier on in the season when they drew here, Pep was talking about the need for Aguero and goals. Man City had a goal-scoring problem, and then they managed to work out a system, obviously a very successful one since they go, where there's loads of different goal scorers. And West Ham were heavily dependent on Antonio. And then Antonio's absence has allowed West Ham to sort of morph itself and find a different way of playing, which now, when Mikel comes back in, it's like you're joining a good side here. We don't just need you, and that's not that Mikel ain't great, because we know he is. The team has managed to together produce a sort of form which, as you say, Pep is actually acknowledging as a positive, rather than they're a good team. Oh, we knew it was going to be hard.
I think he's trying to get a job here.
No chance. Moyes is at the wheel.
But the thing is, let me just add to that. The hardest thing in football is to score goals. So when you look at like Sheffield United's, they actually do play some good football, but they just can't finish it. And they ain't got a lot of, even their midfielders are not scoring. Their wingers can't score. Their strikers can't score. So what hope do they have? Do you know what I mean?
You talking about Sheffield?
Sheffield United.
Don't worry about it. West Ham, mate.
No, but I'm just using that as an example to how it can go wrong. if you don't have people on the pitch that can score goals. And you can't just rely on, as you said, Antonio just to get your goals. You've got to rely on different areas of the pitch. Yeah.
Well, speaking of great goal scorers, if we've got any City fans watching us, obviously they'll know David James is a great striker, but you may not know that he was also a fantastic goalkeeper too, and he was West Ham's #1 between 2001 and 2004. Let's take a look at Jamo's best moments in Claret and Blue.
Picks the ball up, controls it so beautifully from distance. He'll hit one. One England player denied by another. Wheeler, a great save from James, and he's still not over yet.
Easy cross, and he couldn't deal with it. Curry almost did.
Oh, dear, a dreadful mistake. Giggs, a great save from James, a great double save. James is the hero. Oh, James has dropped it, but he recovered, and somehow West Ham got it away.
There we go, some great moments. What should we talk about first, the hair or the saves? Maybe, Jack, do you want to pick?
Oh, we're going to go on, Jack.
I think you know what I'm going to think, yeah. The hair. Talk to me about it.
Well, so I went to go blonde.
Yeah.
But the
went
first
to-
one,
I
the
went
first clip that I saw when your hair was like, it was ginger.
Well, this thing, I was supposed to go blonde. I think, if I remember rightly, it was one of my first games for West Ham after my injury. So the first game being lost to Tottenham, I think we lost the next game 1-0, and then it was Man United. I thought I need to go blonde.
I need to go.
So the night before, we trained the day before the game and then travelled up. So the night before, I bleached my hair and it
Do you
went.
do it yourself?
Yeah.
That's a risky.
Oh, it's risky, mate.
The thing is, when you're in the Premier League, I always think that's too much of a gamble to take. You're going out in front of 40,000 people the next day. Why are you rolling the dice like
What's
that?
your thought process there, dude? Like, you know me, I'm a footballer, right? Well, you know, like we're in the room and we've got time. We've got a lot of time to ourselves, especially like when we're travelling. So we're just looking at things to do. But what are you thinking? You're thinking, I'm just going to go blonde tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is this just how it is? No consulting your missus, no consulting the kids or whatever.
As long as we had the bleach. He's got different volumes, I think.
We're going to get
Yeah,
technical
yeah,
with it.
Now we're getting some good insight. Yeah.
What you might not have noticed, I did my eyebrows as well.
What?
You done your wow.
Wow.
Eyebrows.
It was like, maybe I was in a bad place. I don't know. So we go training the next day, and I've done my training session, and you know where the press are like hanging around out by the gate. And I'm thinking, I'm sneaking to the car. No one's going to see me. And then the day of the game, it was like, I think there was a headline that West Ham are going to have a clown in goal.
Oh wow.
And they talked about my orange hair.
Oh. And this is when it wasn't cool back then.
I thought,
To be fair, I think it was called after. To be
You're a
honest.
trailblazer, mate.
my kids were very young at the time. They thought I was cool.
Well, David, let's talk about stuff on the pitch. We talked about at the top, Glenn's first season in charge, Glenn Roeder's first season in charge. We finished 7th. That was one of our best ever finishes. It looks like we're on track to have a great finish this season. What was it about that 7th finishing season? What was it about the team that got such fantastic results?
Shaka Hislop.
Yeah, well, you're intrigued.
Yeah, because again, I'd signed for the club. For those who don't know, I'd signed for the club, and I don't even know who the first game was. But England had a game against the Netherlands at White Hart Lane on the Wednesday, traditional before the beginning of the season. I was on the bench, came on second half, and within 1 minute I was stretchered off.
Well, wasn't it a goal kick? Did you take a goal kick?
No. I cried into Marty Keown.
Oh, God.
I say Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank had run through one-on-one. I'd come flying out, and then all I felt was this collision. It was like, couldn't move my leg. Stretcher, went in, done me PCL. But I made a save.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
So I warranted my cap.
Yeah.
Then Richard Wright went on, I think, afterwards. But so I spent a long time out, and Xhaka, I think, was ready to, I wouldn't say leave, but he was ready to be the number 2. And all of a sudden, he's in the first team. And then I'm sitting there like doing my rehab, and the team are winning. It's like, yes, yeah, Xhaka's playing well.
Yeah.
Okay, right, yeah, well done, Xhaka. But it was a nice scenario because, I mean, I was a little bit older, more experienced. But to see the team doing well and I wasn't in it, I wasn't thinking, I don't like this situation. When I was younger, it was like, if I'm not playing, I don't want you to win.
Yeah. Yeah,
I want you to miss me, sort of thing. Whereas this was nice. I got a chance to go back in. We had a reserve game the week before. I was supposed to go in a game earlier, and I went for a cross.
Oh no.
I don't know where was it. I don't know where the old reserve team used to play. Cross comes in from a corner, keep straight through my hands in the back of the net. And I said, I don't think I'm ready yet. So I made the decision not to play the next game because I didn't want to represent the club on my debut and not be ready.
Yeah.
As I say, I got it the week after against Tottenham, and yeah, it was a great season.
Yeah.
It really was a great season. And the sad thing about it was that the following season started off so poor, and it wasn't. I think if we'd have got beat 5 or 6-0 2 weeks in a row, similar to Southampton, then we would have all gone. Hang on, it's a little. I think we lost 1-0 at home to West Brom.
They all add up. Yeah.
A little 1-0 here and a little 1-0 there, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we can improve. But by the time it was too late, we hadn't done anything.
Didn't realise it was a crisis. It
and
just kind of.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Glenn, with the tumour or the bleed, Sir Trevor took over. And we showed the form, arguably, that we had the season before. It was like for 10, 11 games, one defeat against Bolton, slightly crucial. But I looked at the league table the other day, and it was like, actually, if we'd have won, we would have stayed up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, we actually went down on 42 points that season. We've just gone over the 42-point barrier now, so we are sitting pretty. We're done. It's over, safe.
No, we're avoiding relegation.
But one thing about that first season, I've heard a lot of people compare Vladimir Coufal to another great West Ham right-back of recent history, Sebastian Schemmel. He was Hammer of the Year that first season you had. And
he was.
He was unbelievable, wasn't he, that first season you were here?
What a guy. I mean, I think Carlton, you'll understand this. So there was a time when the foreign players would come into the Premier League. They were either super superstars or some weirdo who you wondered how they even got in a football team.
How they managed this?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Thomas Repka? They're trying to figure out yet.
Oh no, they're going there.
Thomas,
Oh my God,
that guy
We've got to get Thomas on this show soon, don't we?
Mate, well, I think he's otherwise occupied. I think he's got
so I heard,
court cases.
According to Russ. Thomas, I mean, he would have done anything for this club. But it was Sebastian, French, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was different in a good way. When he could play, which was great, and also he was a good lad.
Was it
which
a
was a
bargain
weird
signing?
Combination.
Was it a bargain? One of those signings that was really a bargain, like how Coufal's turning out to be. Like no one.
I would argue, yeah. I mean, I say I'd argue. I mean, I didn't really know much. Listen, I lived in my own little bubble.
Yeah.
I'm going to West Ham. I'm doing rehab, and we got some really good players in our team. So I didn't really look at the sort of the transfer side of things too much. But as you say, he was
top.
Yeah.
He was good.
And he had a swagger about him as
Good
well.
on a night out, was he?
I didn't go out.
No?
No.
I didn't go out.
Just
There's stories behind them, Miles.
I spent 4 months doing rehab, so I was kind of like really
Professional focus.
4 months dyeing your hair. Hotel bathrooms. That didn't take 4 months, did it? It didn't take 4 months.
Well, like Sebastian Schemmel came in, made a huge impact. Another man who is making a huge impact at the moment, our January loan signing extraordinaire, Jesse Lingard. What a man! Let's take a look at the impact he's had since joining the mighty West Ham.
Is he going to finish this? Yes, he is. It's 2-0. Jesse Lingard. Lingard again. Good effort. He scored again.
And it's broken here, and Lingard takes it on and hits it dramatically in for a second.
There we go, Jesse Lingard. Jack, oh man, Jay Lings.
What's he do, Carlton?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Is that it?
I can tell you what it's not.
Jay Lings.
Is it not that?
Is that Jay Lings?
Yeah,
Is it that?
I think
don't
it's
know.
more.
Comment below.
I think it's
is
more.
It that? It's,
Well,
it's,
look, everyone-
it's cooler
Jack-
when he does it.
I think that's what it is. That's what it's coming off you.
Jack, you should know because you and Jay Lings have been bantering on Twitter about you getting a Jay Lings tattoo.
Yeah, well, I said that I used to mug him off when he was playing for Man U. You have to mug off the other players,
you
don't
got
you?
to.
But I said after watching him on his debut, I was just running around the house, like just doing that in Fiona's face like, all the time. So yeah, I've tweeted sign on a perm or bag another
Look at
7
this.
goals this season, and I'm getting it inked. That's the deal. And then he got back to me after the Tottenham game, and he put one down with a little wink face.
Oh,
so
wow.
This is on
So
Jesse Lingard's mind.
It's on his mind. He wants his Like, what is that?
See,
logo. That's his logo.
That
He wants
is
it on
that.
your
There we
skin.
go. Hang
Surely
on.
it's that.
He
No,
wants it
it's
on your
not.
skin.
That's not a little finger. That's a forefinger. You've got it completely wrong. It's that.
It's
Do you know what? I have. I have.
I'm doing
What are you doing
different.
now?
Like,
Yeah, I
you're
was
doing
doing that. I
I
don't know
thought
what
it's like a J. Yeah, all right, so it's...
Maybe you need the tattoo to figure out what it is.
It's that.
you know
Everyone on
what?
Twitter told me I did it
You
wrong.
know
I was
what?
like, you're all mugs.
You
I've got
should
it
do it
bang
like
on.
that. You should do the tattoo on that way.
I do it like that. See, this is the thing, Chris. So when he's out here playing and scoring, like I saw him have a few shots against Man City at the weekend. I like to think that he's not bothered about the team. He doesn't care about his career. He's thinking, I need another goal to get. So Jaackmaate gets a thing. That's the only thing on his mind. That is the only thing.
But the thing is, when he replied to that tweet, he's gone back down your timeline to find it. He's gone to find.
Yeah,
He's
Gone to find
He
him.
doesn't follow me.
Oh, that's
So he's had to-
disrespectful.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Is there any like violin music going on there? or what?
I'm really look. This is one thing we're going to be looking at as the season progresses. We're going to keep our eyes on this.
Yeah.
But Carlton, Jesse Lingard, and West Ham. It just feels right, doesn't it?
Yeah, the credit has to go to Moyes because obviously the scouting network's been bang on. All the signings that he's made has been top notch, and you got to look at it because he just doesn't sign every player. Moyes, he loads of players gets chucked at him, but he just takes his time and he just brings the right player in to fit the system. And credit goes out to everybody connected to West Ham because it's just got it bang on. And Jay Lings is just the perfect example of getting the. What are you laughing at, Jay Lings?
Oh, I'm just thinking of the.
Jay Lings is
Jack
the
and his
perfect
hand
example
sign.
of him getting it right and fitting in straight into the West Ham team.
Yeah, and David, as an England legend yourself, like all the chat now is about Jesse Lingard in the England team. It's been a great move for everybody concerned.
It had. I mean, when you think from Jesse's point of view, how much of this he knew about is one thing, but if you think back 6 months and before that, you know, this was the guy that Man United didn't want. People were, I'd say, making jokes about his career situation at Manchester United because he wasn't getting the opportunities. And as soon as I heard that he was going to come to West Ham, I was thinking the fact that he's allowed to go, the fact that he wants to go, has got to be a positive.
Yes.
And I don't think, and I'm sure the conversation today is very different to 4 weeks ago, but when he did it, it wasn't with aspirations to be in the England squad for the Euros. It was just to be able to go out and play. And it made me laugh with David Moyes' post-match interview after he'd scored 2 on his debut. It was like, yeah, Jesse, if he scores 2 every week, he'll be happy. And I was thinking, no, I reckon everyone will be happy. but he's continued to put in top performances.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, it sounds slightly ironic, but you know why he was good enough for Manchester United in the first place?
Yeah.
When you see him doing what he's doing now for West Ham. So, as Carlton said, it's a perfect match. And if that can mean anything, then you know it could be a long-term relationship. You never know.
And that tattoo.
Yeah,
You get that
a
tattoo,
long-term
there's a long-term. It's a long-term relationship, mate.
but Jack, innit, when Jesse Lingard scored that goal, he did the crossed hammers, and we were just talking about his Instagram post of his daughter in West Ham shirts. Surely these are good signs.
He's getting involved, isn't he? Yeah. He's getting involved. And then, so the band thing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Like that's summing up our whole season, that, isn't it? I think when we look back at that in like 10 years' time, we'll be like, that was the good season when we had the band. Hopefully we go on to better things, but yeah, I think he's fully ingrained into what we're all about now. Like, yeah, love it.
Love it. Well, look, Jesse Lingard's made a huge impact, and nowhere was that impact more obvious than in our 2-1 win over our North London rivals, Tottenham Hotspur. Let's have another look at those highlights.
Jared Bowen who gets it in awkwardly.
This geezer, mate.
He's always in the right place.
This geezer. I think nowadays you just got to be a presence in the box, man.
What's he like
Get
as
on
a
the
person? He's a good
Top-
lad.
top
Is he?
lad, yeah.
He's funny online, mate. He's funny online.
He loves banter, man.
Get past him and give West Ham an early lead. Here's Jesse Lingard, and it's broken here, and Lingard takes it on and hits it dramatically in for a second. What a start to his West Ham career this has been for Jesse Lingard, but it won't count.
Just going to say West Ham need to take the game to Spurs more than they did in that first half following the goal.
I think it's going to count here. It is, it's a goal. Jesse Lingard has got the 3rd of his West Ham career, and they may have been delayed, but
There you go, that sums up our season, I think, that little celebration
so
there, yeah.
I found this last 15 minutes horrendous. They were just.
Oh, Lucas Moura, mate, he got
How's it
properly
Lucas
pied the
Moura
other
winning
day.
a header?
Did you see him getting pied the other day when Bale scored?
Yeah, what was that about?
Bale was doing his like whatever he does there, and then he's coming and he's gone like L. He's on the L, and then Bale just looked at him like, "Get off my screen!" Getting involved in my banter. He's top notch, this geezer though.
Bale.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. I think this was.
How can anyone
It
write
was
him
the
off?
right week, wasn't it? I think a week. If Bale
You were
had
just
come
getting
in
into
a
it
week
now,
earlier,
Yeah, it could have been harder.
this could have been a different scoreline. For sure.
That hitting the post.
Oh.
We're getting a bit of luck, aren't we?
That was lucky.
As a result of the ball hitting the goal frame.
Well, there we go. That was the win over Spurs. Jack, this season's been packed with so many good moments. It's almost easy to forget that win, but I mean, just how this season in general, how you finding it?
Just loving it, mate. Just loving it. I mean, it's a shame we can't be here, obviously. But do you think would it be the same? Because like fans, like talking from my own perspective, like I'd be the first to be here giving the players a bit of stick when sometimes they need that harmony. Do you know what I mean? And now when we get back into the stadium, we're fully going to be behind them. Do you know what I think? How did the fans make a big impact in that respect? What do you reckon?
I don't know, J-Mo, because when I went onto the pitch, unless the whole crowd's booing me, then I'll probably notice. You know what I mean?
I never booed you.
No, to be honest, when I first come to West Ham, I said some untoward things, in the press, and the fans didn't take, because I remember I came from Chelsea, and the fans didn't relate to me as much as they do now, obviously. But every time I wasn't playing well as well, to add to the spice. So every time I would go on, like as a substitute, I'd be booed on. Yes, I remember it. Yeah. And then what used to happen? Every time I used to touch the ball, I used to get booed as well. Yeah, there was a point in my career when I was the boo boy. Yeah, but then that would affect you as a player, that if you're getting booed all the time, but not when it was a normal game, you coming out and everyone's cheering your name and whatever. You don't hear what's going on in the crowd.
But I think in like previous seasons, if West Ham go 1-0 down, like with any club really, the fans tend to get on the players' backs a little bit. This season, I think we go 1-0 down, and the boys we're back in it. We're back in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got a real mental strength to this team, isn't there? Do you agree, Dave?
That's the difference, yeah.
I think the easiest way to look at it is comparing sort of the end of last season to this season, in the sense that there was no fans at the end of last season. So the sort of the fan influence would
at the end of last season, yeah.
Yeah. So you're looking at what wasn't a great season last season to what is a great season so far without fans. So the comparables are, the influences are stable. But I just look, and again, I go back to being here and watching the game against Man City and how different the team is. The team now, even in losing to Man City on the weekend, look like a team who want to go and win a game of football. They're fearless. Now, whether the fans, and the thing with the fans is it works both ways. I'd argue it depends on the individual players, but the support is great, and it can also stir the opposition. It's like, well, we're going to shut you up by playing good, and then, like you said, 20 minutes in, we're not beating the team we should beat. The murmur.
Do you know what I think?
It's not even a goal or the missed shot. It's the bad pass.
See that one noise, yeah, that could affect a player if they're listening. Do you know what I mean? Like there'll be certain things in the game that could happen, right, where it could affect one player because they might not be tuned into the game itself. They might be tuned into what's happening around them, and then that will affect their game for the whole game. So that one person will make a mistake later on in the game as well because they're not as confident. Do you know what I mean? Wow. So it depends what player it is. It depends if they're sensitive to it or not. And then if that player makes the mistake, his game will go downhill because the fans are there getting on his back. But the fans, he would see it as getting on his back, but they're trying to encourage him. And that's where it's just the way they perceive it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think David Moyes and every manager in the Premier League in football, dare I say, because there's no fans anywhere. But David Moyes' relationship with his players has become stronger without the influence of fans.
Yeah,
and therefore what he says is going to have more bearing because we've been there where you walk out, the manager said, "Yeah, go and do this, do that." You run out there, and then the fans will give you a different response to your actions. And in a way, if the fans, if you do something the fans are enjoying more than what the manager's asking you to do, then you're more likely to do it again.
Yeah.
So you build up that relationship. So I'm hoping that when the fans come back in,
Just
then
trust
it
the
will be on.
process.
Again, it's added to what David Moyes has established. And one thing that's really funny, big crowds are easier to play in front of than smaller crowds.
Are they?
Yeah, because you can't hear anyone
can't hear nothing.
in a big crowd. And I played
Small crowd's intimate. It's like, mate, I know you're there. You're gathering me. You're not even trying to hide it.
Imagine playing in front of Crawley, 2,500 people, and there was one fan for 90 minutes
Just jeering
telling me that I'd let my country down.
That used to happen a lot.
I was this, I was that, and he was just like, mate, shut up.
Like, it used to happen to Rob Green a lot. Yeah? Rob Green used to get it a lot. Like, but he never used to let it affect him, because that's what.
Well, you don't know who it is. When there's 10,000 people behind you, and you can hear a voice, you can't turn around and find them.
Yeah.
It's kind of low. It could be
It's
anyone.
you
Like,
up there,
okay,
I see you.
And when
I
there's
don't
one
like your
guy
face.
just stood there, just like, mate, I'm not even going to look at you. Cross is coming in from that side, trying to catch him like that. Yeah.
Well, there's been so many great moments this season, and actually our next game, Leeds. We beat Leeds back in December at Ellen Road. Let's remind ourselves of that one.
Loses out though, striding forward, Liam Cooper puts it into the path of Bamford.
I think this is the game I really started to believe.
100%, 100%.
Against these teams as well.
I was like, because usually we play really well against the big teams and then mess up and stuff like this.
Yeah,
But
and then we had he had to retake it, didn't he? Fab saves, he has to retake it, and then I thought, this is our luck, this is us now, and then we just turned it around.
It's a save, poor penalty, really grubbled. Yeah, he's off the line before the ball is contacted. Cleach is going to place it down.
Battle of the minds now, isn't it? Do you go the same way? Would you go the same way?
I'm not quite sure. Fabianski tries to make the block. He goes for the other corner, and Fabianski dives the right way. Couldn't make the save, and Leeds United have taken the lead. It's Leeds 1, West Ham United 0.
Probably in swing into the goalkeeper.
Two arms up from Bowen. It's towards the back post. It's headed by Souček. It's in. It's got to be a goal, and the referee points to the centre spot, and Thomas Souček scores again. It's his third goal in 4 games for West Ham United. Yeah,
Fantastic header right in the middle of the forehead.
He carried us for a bit, didn't he? Souč?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When Mikel's out, then someone
Has to step up.
guys step up.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of coverage I've been doing on matches, and when West Ham come up, it's like, what about Souček doing this? And it's kind of like he had that reputation. This guy who's going to run in and score goals.
Yeah.
Bono has given West Ham United the lead.
Dawson as well, just chipping in with goals here and there, you know what I mean? Just helps.
Brilliant delivery. The one before that is Ben Rama took, and he tried to bend it in the goal himself. He was saying, get off that. Cresswell's having this one. Great ball in, and what a fantastic header.
Forward, Luke Ayling won't get over the halfway line because the referee, Michael Oliver, blows his whistle, and David Moyes has guided his team to a 3rd away victory of the season and up to 5th in the Premier League table, behind early doors, and the Hammers are up to 5th. It's finished Leeds United 1, West Ham United 2.
well, there we go. Leeds up next, and that was a win against Leeds back in December. Jack, I was just saying that was the game I really started believing. Do you feel like that?
100%, 100%. I watch a few other West Ham YouTubers and whatnot, and they were all sort of united in saying the same thing. And as I said, not the most positive sort of West Ham fan out there. I thought at the start of the season, like, when's this going to run out? Like, West Ham can't keep this up forever. Like, we're West Ham. And then we got a bit unlucky with them having to retake the penalty and then scoring it, and I thought, is this the point where our luck changes? And then we come from behind to win 2-1, so absolutely buzzing. And then ever since then, like, we've just been the best team in the world.
Let's ever live.
Is that a bit too far? Or?
No, not at all. Carlton, Leeds here. How are you feeling about it?
Confident?
Yeah.
Of course, look, there's going to be goals in it for sure. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at the way that Leeds are playing, they're free-flowing. They play exciting football, but they're very vulnerable to conceding goals. And as long as we keep it stum at the back, which we are very capable of, as everyone sees this season, and we keep them out, I think it's easily a winnable game.
Yeah, definitely. David, Leeds are 11th, they're on 35 points. They're pretty much safe. I wouldn't say they've got loads to play for.
There's no question.
We're in the hunt for Champions League football.
Yeah.
Like, we've got everything to play for. How do you see this one going?
Leeds, I describe Leeds as the English Atalanta. Now, if you're not following Italian football, Atalanta are the side that will go out and win 5-0 one game and then go and get beat 5-0 the next game. And you look at it and think, why is it? It's just the way they play. Yeah. Liverpool proved that by beating them 5-0 in the Champions League. And Leeds are that side, like Carlton says. You expect goals, but you're not sure who for. You expect them to be high tempo. That thing is never going to change. For West Ham not to be scared of it, I think, is the main thing. It's going to be a hard game, but you can beat them because Leeds also lose games of football. They're safe. And one thing, I spoke to Luke Ayling the other week, interestingly enough, and he said that Leeds want it, or he as a Leeds player want Leeds to survive so their fans can see Leeds in the Premier League. So Leeds are on this sort of mission, individually or collectively. You talk about the Champions League opportunities for West Ham. Well, you've got to beat Leeds. Lose to Man City is fine. Man City you're going to beat, or could beat, everyone or anyone, and they're the best team in Europe at the moment. So losing to them, putting in a spirited performance is fine. Can't lose to Leeds.
Yeah, massive.
You cannot lose to Leeds.
Well, let's have a look at the league.
I'm not putting any pressure on you. You just can't lose to Leeds.
I think it is a big game. Let's have a look at the league table. This league table is right as of the 1st of March. And we are sitting pretty in 4th on 45 points at the moment. Jack, let's talk about ambition for this season. Are we going on a European tour next year?
Yeah.
Trick question.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I'm starting to believe, and I'll say it for the final time, I'm not the most optimistic Hammers fan. So if I'm starting to believe, everyone else surely believes. Surely, we've got the boy, Jay Leeds. We'll do anything.
Was that the right sign? He done the wrong one
He's done
again.
it again. He's
never learned.
It's getting worse.
I've made up my own one. Right? He'll have to adopt it.
It's a wonderful position.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, there was a point where, West Ham are in touching distance, okay, and you think, they're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win. You know, West Ham, where they're going to lose points and where you're going to end up, sort of thing. But, with the results of the weekend, Chelsea, I think, are drawing, weren't they? There's Everton, who are in catchable distance. You've got Aston Villa, who drop points, could level with West Ham, but wow.
Can I bring a little bit of reality into it, maybe?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Why are you trying to burst bubbles?
No, I'm not. I'm loving it. But
You're supposed to be forever blowing bubbles, not bursting them.
there is 8 points between us and 10th.
Yeah.
So anything can change.
Who's looking at 10th anymore?
Carlton, mate.
I wasn't even looking at 10th, mate.
Mate, I get battered on social enough, right? If we sit here now and say we're going all the way to the Champions League, right, and we finish 10th, this clip's going to be sharing around. Okay. So we need to stay humble and go, we could finish 8th.
Listen, I'm that sort of guy. I know what you're talking about. But this season, there's something in the air that's not making me look at 10th. We've done enough to be looking up the table, not down there.
Yeah.
The second half performance against Man City, even losing, is enough to give you confidence that they will do everything to finish in the top 4. And I think that's different from before. There was, there's sides that you saw, and the pessimist in you would go, actually, I've seen us play.
Yeah. And not
there's
just that,
a
the
bit
pundits
about
are
us
on our side as well. The pundits are saying that we can do it.
Everyone's favourite second team at Carlton. Come on.
That's
that's only because you're the pundit on every show.
No, actually not.
I mean, Jack, I agree. There's a realism that Chelsea at their best can win games of football, so can Liverpool, so can Tottenham, so can Aston Villa, whatever.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it could put you back, but you're going on the basis that West Ham will always be the same West Ham.
Right.
This season, West Ham are not that normal West Ham.
Superpowers.
So just take advantage of it. Leicester won the league one year because they wanted to get to 40 points. Even at 39, it was Ranieri going, I'm just concentrating on getting on 40.
Top of the league.
Yeah, true.
Right, Leeds up next. Let's get some predictions in. Coley, you've got a fantastic record this season of predicting West Ham results. Can that continue? Let's find out. Leeds, how are we going to do?
Patrick Bamford in good form. He's going to get a goal. So I'm going 3-1.
3-1. Oh, okay, just a consolation.
Just a consolation goal, but I know Patrick might get a goal though.
And okay, we'll take that, David.
Well, that's not even actually clear. I think Patrick Bamford will get a goal, not might get a goal. It doesn't make sense. Because he's in form at the moment. I'll give him that.
Which United channel's this?
Listen, I'm a realist. and listen, the proof's in the pudding. Go look at my groundwork. My predictions before.
I'm going to go with Carlton.
3-1.
3-1 as well.
Yeah, I hate scorelines because so many things. I think West Ham will win the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether it's 3-1 or I tell you what, a crappy 1-0 win is enough.
Yeah.
We'll take
I think they'll win the game. It's just because I don't know what Leeds will bring with them.
Did they win 1-0 the last game?
Yeah. No.
That was actually a surprising scoreline.
Leeds.
Leeds.
I think
Lost
they lost to Villa, didn't
yeah.
they?
Lost
1-0.
Yeah.
That's a surprising scoreline. That's well. They done well to keep it down to 1-0.
Yeah.
So,
Jack, what are you saying?
I feel like I'm running the risk of being too negative this show, so I'm gonna flip it up a bit, and I'm gonna go easy 7-0 win West Ham.
7-0.
7-0.
I hate your pessimism.
Craig Dawson hat-trick, all headers.
And who's your man of the match? Who you can predict is going to be man of the match?
Well, Craig Dawson, if he scores 3 headers.
Okay, well, he'll deserve it after that.
what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham. I think we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I'm just hoping for a comfortable afternoon. Do you know what I've enjoyed about West Ham this season is just comfortable wins.
Yeah.
How often does that happen? Like when you just win a game, you're like, oh, this is nice. Like put the kettle on.
Sit back,
Like
in the
every win,
armchair.
it feels like the last few years has been like, oh, like nail biting to the last minute. But now I've actually relaxed, enjoy it. Like I've actually enjoyed watching West Ham.
Yeah.
Like it's not terrifying.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Potato
It's been
salad,
excellent.
Just loving it.
I know.
The potato salad's out.
Fantastic stuff. Coley, thank you for joining us. David, fantastic stuff.
Pleasure.
Jack, great to have your pessimism here on the show.
7-0 pessimism.
Well, look, the race for Champions League continues on Monday night at 8 p.m. against Leeds United right here at the London Stadium. Are we about to go on a European tour? Let's find out. Let's hope so. Thank you for joining us. Come on, you are.